The arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control and not the other way around.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Please, you can kill it.
Nobody trusts anybody now.
Come on, you hate. You want to live forever?
I got a really bad feeling about this.
Godzilla will live.
And welcome back to the 112th episode of the Monster Movie Stompdown. Of course, you got your host, Sludge, from me. Now, across from me is not only our normal Lorax, but we have a special guest, if you see. Gavin, say hello to everybody.
Hey.
And then, of course, you got the Lorax right
That's
there.
me.
And then the Grandmaster in Texas.
Ruben.
And we've got a fun special episode. We've been telling you guys that Gavin's finally going to make an appearance because he's been wanting to for a while. And we are doing one of his favorite movies. We've started into the realm of the tokusatsu films and shows. And so we're doing a movie that actually was a hard copy. I brought it down for tonight's show. A movie called Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy. And this is the introduction of an Ultraman character named Ultraman Zero. And it's going to be fun. This is a great movie. Gavin was pumped up. Gavin brought down some of his Ultraman figures. I brought down my Ultraman Zero model. You know, we're big Ultraman fans here in the house, and especially Gavin. So this one will be fun. But, man, before we do into that, how are you guys doing?
Well, before we get started, do you need Gavin's chair that has a back? Because I know
Oh, no, man.
you hurt your back.
Oh, my
okay?
God.
You've hurt your back.
I don't want to hear it.
And before the show ever got started, he's whined and cried.
I have not.
Oh.
This is, okay,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
So
he has.
It's Monday. We record these on Mondays. We release them on Saturdays. And I graciously, the friend that I am, helped my neighbors push their van that's been broke down, 4,600-pound vehicle, from their driveway across the street into our driveway because their driveway is all dirt and gravel. They got jacket up on stands. It won't keep sinking. Mine's all asphalted. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And we have a little slight incline on our driveway before it levels out. And we get to the top of that incline, and it felt like I was the only one pushing at that moment. I love my neighbors to death. They're my friends. But I was like, man, come on, where y'all at on this with me? Was it just me pushing this vehicle?
I remember
And
smacking my face on the concrete. That was fun.
To get it up, I gave it all I got, that last little push till we get level, and something popped in the middle of my back.
Ooh.
Hard enough that, my neighbors heard it, and it's been rough.
I don't know.
Man.
I think I was here probably about 45 seconds, and then I had to hear about
lies,
that. And then it was,
Yeah, they use lies.
and then Sarah's out on the porch with us, and she's talking about how she got him in a massage chair. The wife, man, she's trying to take care of him. And what's he do? He complains that now his back is bruised because of the massage
No,
chair.
that is not how it went. Okay, that is not
So
how that went.
that wasn't good enough. So, she went and got him a heating pad.
Really?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
Did you?
So he had to lay
Yes.
on the heating pad.
Okay, yeah, I saw the hitting pad.
There we go.
See,
There
that's
we
not
go.
how it went.
Hey,
Okay,
but-
no.
I don't
This
know.
massage
I don't know.
chair is she gave it to me. She's like, look, it might help. And I'm like, I'm not gonna worry about it. She's like,
Hey.
well, I'll sit up in your back chair and it'll be okay.
We're trying to listen
And,
to a Lorax here.
No, hey, watch it there,
That
man.
was good.
You're the guest. It's still my show, so I'm like, all right, let me
Hear
go.
that?
Did you just hear
It's
that?
his show.
It's his show. Yes, I heard
Oh,
that.
my
I heard that.
goodness.
What do you mean?
Man, I tell you
And it's
what.
not just my show. It's Lorax's and the Grandmaster show as well.
Boy, that,
Wait, wait.
Well, that didn't want to
man,
sound like
that's
this a minute
that's
ago.
How's your trees doing?
that's some Deion
It's-
Sanders type
speaking
backtrack in the back.
Oh, yeah.
there,
Oh,
man.
yes. Yes.
I like Dion. Come on.
Okay.
Anyways, all right. So I got this thing in my chair, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And she said it bruised her back. I'm like, there's no way. In my mind, I'm like, okay, there's no way this thing's going to really bruise your back. No, that thing does not freaking play around. Okay, It was. I was telling my neighbors, they were like, it's not like like one of those Asian massage chairs. It's kind of soothing. And so I said, no, it was like a Norwegian Viking. So you got like this woman named Olga digging into your back. Put that in over there. Digging into your back, and it it was excruciating, man. It was pretty rough,
And
and
I'm
it
with
did.
you.
I think it bruised my back a little bit. It didn't play around.
I just know that I remember you telling Sarah, "Will you be quiet? You're not helping any of this."
Oh,
That is what you said.
goodness.
I did.
Oh, my.
Look, because I
That's
knew
where the bruises came from. From the
yeah,
beating.
exactly.
From the
No,
beating he
no,
got
I knew.
afterwards.
She was saying this stuff. I'm like, man, Lorax is just going to use this on the show, is what it is. That's why I said you're not helping.
Well,
I knew where it was going.
I just thought maybe you needed a back, because you're sitting on a stool, and I just,
I will survive for the next 45
All right, I was just
minutes.
checking on that. All right,
Don't make me have a heart
I was
attack.
concerned.
Stop.
Go.
I was a concerned father. Is what I was.
Well, that's a lie. I can tell you that much right now. So,
Oh,
concern my rear end. But no, anyway.
I thought you hurt your back. Did you hurt your rear
I'm
end
having
or
a
your
heart
back?
attack.
Well, with him, it's going to hurt my back, or hurt my butt at the same time, just because he's. Anyways, yeah. Gosh, it'll be. I'll make it through. I promise.
Okay,
I
that's
will
all.
make it through.
What I was
he's
concerned
gonna-
about.
he's gonna-
That's what I was
He's gonna
concerned
Be a
about.
trooper. He's gonna.
Yeah, because it's your show and all.
Yeah.
it's your show. You gotta, you gotta be
It
able
is
to
our
make it
show.
through
I'm
it.
just laying the rules down for Gavin. Like, hey,
Wait,
hey,
did we start this thing already?
Yes, we've already
Oh.
started. It is rolling. So, all right.
okay.
So yes, so we're
Yeah, we're
into
recording.
this one, man. Pretty stoked about it, and for several reasons, which we'll get into. But it is time for us to dig into. It is a long name, Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy.
Jeez.
Here's the trailer. Check it out.
ゼットン星人俺が相手だ
Okay, and that was the trailer for a Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy. And man, this one is not. I mean, this is a long series. Ultraman's been around since 1961. You've got 43 different series. You've got 30-something plus movies. Then you got side stories. It's vast. That's one of the things I love so much about Ultraman in comparison to like Power Rangers or Kamen Rider is The continuity's been there since 1961. It's all the same. It's all one continuity, and it's huge. There's so much lore when it comes to the Ultras that I think is amazing. This movie introduces a character named Ultraman Zero. Ultraman Zero kind of has become the new Ultraman. Like he's the forefront top dog from here on out. And this came out in 2009, December 12, 2009. And you've got three main eras of Ultras. You got the original Ultras series, which was the Showa era. So it goes from the original Ultraman all the way through to Ultraman 80. They took a small break for a few years and came out with Ultraman Tiga, which was the Heisei series. Tiga ran from there to Mebius, who Mebius is one of the main characters in this movie, and we'll get into that here in just a moment. And then after Mebius comes Ultraman Zero, and after Ultraman Zero comes what they call the new generation heroes of all these new guys. So you got three main eras of them. And, of course, Gavin's a fan of – he likes them all, but – what, Gavin?
My favorite is Tiga, but didn't Zero was chosen by the Stick of Light? What I call it.
Well, we'll get into that, here in just a moment to start the movie goes. So for this, there's a long running history of the Ultras, long running histories, and you've got all these characters. You know, your original Ultraman, Ultra 7, Ultraman Taro. Those are like the original dudes, and they're huge. You know, at this point in the Ultra series, you see those original Showa Ultras. You know, Ultraman, 7, Taro, not Ace, Ace. Jack, Zoffy,
Ultra 8 brothers.
They pop around in capes now, kind of because like they're like the top dogs. They're the original crew. Now you got all these, the Ultra 8 brothers.
Yeah.
You got the new crew now. They're the new younger guys. They're out saving the galaxy and all the different universes. So what this movie has literally got everybody in it, from the original Ultraman all the way up to Zero at this point. Every Ultra there has ever been, minus one. Is in this movie. Literally, and we're talking dozens of Ultras, other than one Ultra didn't make it. And so this movie starts off, had a little bit of a prequel. I should talk about, just kind of set up a little piece there in the movie prior to it, which was Ultraman Mebius's last movie, called Ghost Reverse, and it introduced something called the Giga Battlenizer, which was this weapon, this massive spear that takes a big part of this film, that could control a 100-monster army. That was introduced in the movie prior to this. And so then this movie came out, kind of set the stage because you got introduced to that and what's called the Monster Planet, or the Monster
Graveyard.
Monster Graveyard. Thank you, Gavin. The Monster Graveyard, where all these monsters that the Ultras fight after they kill them, it's kind of where their souls go to.
Flying around.
Is the Monster Graveyard.
Yeah.
So this movie starts off with the Ultras. You actually finally, for the first time since 1961, this is 2009, we get to see the Land of Light, which is Nebula M78 is the name of the planet, which is the home of the Ultras.
Hurts my
and
eyes.
It's, did you say it hurt your eyes?
Yeah.
It is definitely bright. It's the Land of Light, and they did a fantastic job with CG, making it, the planet almost looks like crystal. You know what I mean? Like it's the buildings and everything's made of crystals, and you see Ultras everywhere. You see the Ultra Command Center where Ultra Father, Ultra Mother are, and as well as the original crew, Ultraman, all those guys. The movie starts out with Mebius. And what's kind of a cool throwback, because if anybody's seen the original Ultraman show, Ultraman and Bimlar, the first monster, arrive on Earth in these blue and red orbs. And the movie starts out with a blue orb and a red orb, and the red orb is chasing it to a planet, and it ends up being Ultraman Mebius and Bimlar, the original first Ultra monster ever.
I love
to make an appearance.
Bimlar.
Super, super cool sequence. Pretty quick. He takes Bimlar out real fast, and then he gets called back to the Land of Light, back to planet Ultra. He gets there, and they're like, hey man, they said there's some major negative energy going on in the universe, and we need to see what's happening. While they're discussing this, another alien has gone to this planetoid right outside of Ultra. It's a prison planet, right? It's a prison planet that actually houses an Ultra called Belial, or Belial. As we talk about it here in America. He is the first and original. The only evil Ultraman. Belial, when he was young, tried to take what's called the plasma spark from the Land of Light, which is where the Ultras get their power from. And, of course, it could destroy him type deal, so he doesn't take it. Ultra Father stops him, and Ultra King banishes him to this prison planet. You find out throughout the movie that they stop him. They originally banish him but he meets an alien called Ray Blood who fuses with him, and Ray Blood has the ability to control monsters, and he becomes Ultraman Belial, comes back, tries to steal the plasma spark again. Ultraman King. Gavin's got the sweet, cool little figure here. I knocked him down of Ultraman King here.
For Belial, actually, Ultra Father didn't stop him. He gently touched it, but burned his hand, kind of thing.
That's Belial. That's what happened to Belial. Yeah, it did deform him a little bit. So he comes back and tries to destroy the Land of Light. And Ultra King, being the Mac Daddy he is, he's like the most powerful Ultra there is. Makes quick work of him and imprisons him in this planetoid, which is literally the planetoid is literally his prison. Like he is locked into the walls of this thing. This alien, classic Ultra alien named Zarab, who was in the previous movie, stole the Giga Battlenizer in the previous film, shows up, frees Belial, frees him and gives him the Giga Battlenizer, and it's like, oh, we're going to rule the universe together. Quickly finds out Belial don't share anything, and Belial wipes him out. Goes to escape, and Taro shows up to try and stop him, and it goes from there to Planet Ultra, and Belial just starts, or Belial just starts, I'm going to say Belial the rest of the way out, but in Japanese it's Belial. Just wipes the floor with everybody. He starts taking out a lot of Ultras, and you see a lot of the classics, man. You see, you get to see Ace in them, but like
Ultraman Power?
Yeah, Ultraman Power is one of them. Ultraman Great, which were the two American productions. You get to see, who are they, Gavin? The cartoon ones, Chuck and Beth and...
I
I can't remember the third one.
Either.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. So all the
Ultraman
lower
Boy.
Ultra Boys, Man Boys in there. So all the smaller Ultra series, you kind of see him wipe through those guys real quick. And then here comes Ultraman, Ultra 7, and then you've got Zoffy, who are like the three original
Jack?
dudes. Jack shows up with Ace and 80 at one point. So he goes through the whole gamut. Well, he ends up making it to the land of to where the plasma spark is, and fights Ultra Father, Ultra Mother, and goes to steal the plasma spark. And he has to fight Taro one more time, and he takes everybody out. Steals the plasma spark. Through the process of this, Mebius is fighting too. He kicks Mebius, hits him so hard, knocks him right into space, off the planet. So Belial's pretty strong. And
he didn't actually kick him. What he did was use the plasma sword thing.
Oh, the Battlenizer. Yeah, and hit him, knocked him out.
To lightning him and throw him out.
Yeah. So he's up. Mebius is not on the planet at this point. And so he takes the plasma spark, and in a last-ditch effort, everything starts freezing, because that's the source of power for the Ultras. That's their life stone, pretty much. Everything starts freezing, so Taro, in a last-ditch effort, grabs a hold of the last bit of light and holds it so that they can, there's a chance to save the planet. And Ultraman and Ultra 7 manage to block this stuff from happening and survive. The rest of the planet is completely frozen. Belial takes off and goes to the monster graveyard. All we have left now is Mebius floating out in space. He realizes he's got to see what's going on. He goes to Planet Ultra, runs into Ultraman and Ultra 7, and they're like, look, we have got to find a way to save the planet. We've got to go take up Belial. And they start mentioning at this point of another Ultra to come help. And 7 is very much like, I don't think this one's ready. And you see on another planet where Ultra King is, Leo, Astra, who are two Ultra brothers as well, are training this Ultra that's in this stuff called Tecto Gear. It is an armor that is made to suppress your movements and ability to do things. And this Ultra, this mystery Ultra that's there, also tried to take the plasma spark at one point. And instead of banishing him, Ultraman King put him on this planet to train under Leo and Astra. And so he's there, and they're like, Ultraman and is like, hey, dude, 7, we've got to call him. And they're like, this Ultra Warrior is the first Ultra Warrior to have an unlimited possible potential. And 7's like, no, he's not ready. And so they've got to figure out a way. So they send Mebius to find Ray. Ray is a character from the Mega Monster Battle show, and he is a human Ray Blood. So he's a mix with human and Ray Blood, which is the alien that Belial's part of that can control monsters. And so he goes around in his show, and he helps fight monsters off because he can control
Gamora.
Gamora's one of them. Leetra is another one. Gamora, of course, is an Ultraman monster. Leetra comes all the way back to Ultra Q when it all first started. So they go and they find Ray. And Ray and Mebius and Ultraman and Ultra 7 end up going to the monster graveyard to try and take on Belial. He has now released the 100 monster army, and unfortunately, these dudes just can't keep up. I mean, he is beating him up. I got him coming. But another Ultraman shows up. The only Ultra, unfortunately, from the Heisei series that really kind of put his toe into the fight is Dyna. Dyna shows up, tries his hand. He fails as well. Belial realizes that Ray is part Ray blood and unlocks that evil side of him. And so Ray turns Gamora against the Ultras for a bit. Ultra 7 steps up, takes the brunt of the hit. And Ray realizes, from his captain that he's doing wrong. They turn the tide back against Belial. Belial finally says he's done pretty much and just goes to wipe them all out. 7 steps up, takes it all to save Ultraman, save Dyna, save Ray, save Mebius, because 7's a freaking beast. That's the reason why 7's my favorite of the Ultras. But it kills him. Right before 7 dies, he takes what's known as his eye slugger, which is this massive blade that's on his head, and he throws it into space. And then it goes from when he falls down, right as he's about to die, it switches over to the planet where that unknown Ultra's at. And they realize at this point he is finally, this Ultra that's in his techno gear saves this little monster called Pigmon, who's been in the Ultra series forever. Saves Pigmon, and they're like, you realize what it takes to be, now what it takes to be an Ultra. And then the Eye Slugger shows up, and he picks it up, and they're like, that's 7. So Ultra King grabs it and, telepathically finds out what's going on. And he says, this is what's happening. Tells him Belial's at the Ultra Graveyard. He's taking out the Planet of Light. And he talks to Zero, and he goes, you need to go save your father. And they're like, what? And he's like, you're the son of 7. And then he just loses it. They drop the Techno gear. He takes off, shows up at the monster planet, grabs his father, moves him away from the battlefield, and looks at him. And his father just looks at him and says son, and then just pretty much dies at that point. And then 7 turns around, and like his father, has 2 Eye Slugger blades on his head. Again, of course, we got him here in the figure form. Looks a lot like 7.
He actually broke the armor.
Yeah, that's later on, not in this movie, though. Or are you talking about the technical? No, they didn't break the armor. So he proceeds to wipe the floor with these monsters. It's totally different ball game when 7 shows up. 7 shows up, and ain't nobody stands a freaking chance. He just wails through the 100-monster army like they're nothing.
7 or 0?
Or 0, sorry.
Yeah.
0 shows up and makes this awesome statement. It's like, I'm 0, son of 7, and just that Rambo moment I was telling you guys last time. It's like, Murdoch, I'm coming for you. Dude unleashes all hell on these monsters and wipes them all out like it's nothing. And then goes toe-to-toe with Belial. And Belial, he just can't hang at this point. Like, 0 is whooping him like it's nothing. And he does. He throws him into a river of lava, and they think it's done and over with. But the spirits of these monsters come back, and Belial has fused them into one massive monster.
Demon, mostly.
Yeah, like a big, massive demon, and Belial's like the brain of it. And so it takes 0 and the Ultras, minus 7, give him what power they have left to give 0 a little bit of a boost to just wipe Belial and these monsters out, which he does successfully. Belial goes flying out in the universe, and we presume is dead. And then they manage to get the plasma spark back, take it back to the Land of Light, and save Planet Ultra. And as a last-ditch moment, you see it's a pretty cool moment. You see like all these Ultras and family members coming back together again, and 0's kind of just standing there. And all of a sudden, a hand grabs him from the back, and he turns around, and it's his dad. 7's standing there. He's been resurrected. And the king lets him know. He's like, look, this was a major fight. We won, but there's more to come. And then as that happens, right as it ends, you see the dead body of Belial on this like asteroid floating in space, and his eyes light up, credits roll, type deal. So that is the movie, man. It is a lot to it, but God, it is worth it. Let's find out what we thought about this movie, starting with Gavin.
I said it was a 4 because if you start watching it, you can see that when they start to fight, I feel like why I gave it a 4 is because he didn't really pick up a fight.
You're not supposed to give your number away yet, man. We do the Stompdown rating later.
I don't watch it really that much.
That's how much my son loves me. He doesn't watch my show at all.
I know he doesn't even know how it goes.
Yeah, he just wants to be on it. So, but no, you're good, Gavin. Tell us what you thought about the movie, man. Get up to your mic.
I thought it was good because, well, I didn't think there would be another Ultraman, but there was, and that came up to be one of my favorites.
0.
Yeah.
Well, 0's, I was thinking, 0's how you got started on the show. Or was it no, Tiga's how you got started?
Tiga, yeah.
But this one was the first movie you saw,
Yeah, he
right?
went through a Tiga.
He did go through a pretty
everything
big
was
phase.
like Tiga.
Yeah.
I know his theme song, his whole entire theme song.
Tiga is pretty boss, but
Take me
Zero
higher.
was the first one movie you watched, the actual first movie, right?
I liked it. Yeah.
What all else did you like about this movie?
I liked how he actually did pick up a fight. So did Belial by actually having a second chance to also fight him to show him, Zero, that he actually has more power. That was cool.
Anything else you liked about it? Like some of
Mm,
the other characters, and I know you're a big Mebius fan as well, right?
yes, I'm glad that we get to saw Mebius, and I'm glad we were able to saw Dinah, but he should have bringed his brothers too, Gaia and Tiga.
Guy and Tiga, yeah.
Yeah.
So Gavin, now Gavin's definitely a Heisei Ultraman fan. So that's Tiga. Started with Tiga, went from Tiga. The second one was Dinah. Third was Gaia, and then you've got a couple in between with them. You got Agul was the blue one that helped Gaia, and he wasn't like a main Ultraman, but he was
Yeah.
like a side helper.
It was
so,
Agul.
but those, and then Cosmos. Cosmos was the other Heisei one.
The one that loves monsters.
Yeah, he loves monsters. So you're definitely a big fan of those for sure. Is there anything you didn't like in this movie, Gavin?
Yes, there's actually something I didn't like in a movie. The thing that I didn't like was how I can't remember where we saw the monster with the weapon, the blade thing to fight with all the monsters inside. I'm glad he showed up, but the thing I didn't like is when he didn't actually help Belial, because you actually got to saw him in one of like these shows that didn't really get to see him, and he came back, but then he just immediately died.
Zerub.
Yeah.
Zerub, yeah.
I didn't like that.
So-
Finally came back.
Now,
He
who
died.
outside of Zero, who was your favorite Ultra to watch in this movie? Like, thought was the coolest to see in the film?
I'm gonna have to go with watching 7 Ultraman Jack and Ultraman or Ultraman Zoffy, whatever.
So, like the original crew, you like seeing
Yeah.
the original guys doing their thing. It was pretty cool. The moment where they're fighting on the Ultra Command Tower.
Yeah, mostly
and they're
the
fighting sideways
Yeah.
down the tower. That was pretty sweet.
mostly the 8 brothers, because they're inside. Mebius starts to fight. Then it's then Zoffy, Ultraman, then 7. Then it goes to Ace, 80, and Jack.
Yep.
And you have the whole Ultra 8 brothers fighting, but side by
Like
other
piece by
ways.
piece.
Yeah.
You mean so like we got the original brothers, and you got the second group of brothers. Yeah, that
so
was
he gets
that was really
weakened
cool.
down to get demolished by King, but didn't really.
Well, I think it's
Go.
it's safe to be, it would be a little unfair having King show up when you think, because
I mean, not King, Ken, father. Ultraman
Oh, Ken,
father.
that's right. Yeah, so Ultra Father's name is actually Ken. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Ken.
When Ken shows up. So,
That's-
anything else you liked or want to say about the movie?
that they actually were able to show the original Ultramans, like the one that Ultraman fought, the one with the 2 claws like a crab. I can't remember.
Baltan's in it. Yep.
I'm glad he showed the original one, like the ghost that 7 fought in the original
Yep.
ghost thing. Yeah, glad he showed the original monsters too.
Yeah, that was really cool. That they, not only you have all the original Ultraman, you got a lot of the original monsters
And the first
show
one,
up.
the first monster that Tiga ever fought, the one that had that looked like a beetle kind of.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, he's
first
in
one he
there. There's
fought.
tons of them, man, which is super cool.
Yeah.
That is the detail they put into it is not only the original
Yeah.
Ultraman, you got all the Ultra
There's
monsters.
to 100.
Yeah,
My
control
head
100.
is about to explode with he's just whipping these names off left and right, and hey, this and that and this and that. And what's amazing about how old are you?
9.
9 years old. Prefers the Japanese version over the English dub.
Yeah, he does.
And he knows all this stuff. It's just
Yeah,
Oh.
well, I mean, I got I finally got the newer or a higher quality version of this movie put up on the Plex for everybody to watch, and I got it with the English dubbing as well.
Right.
And when I told Gavin, I said, "Hey, man, you got to watch this movie. I know you've seen it several times, but you still need to watch it." And I said, "The version I got is a lot better quality, but it also has the English dub version." And he's like, "I don't like the English version." He's like, "Nope." So
I was born in Japan.
great.
you should have
Great.
been. So, all right, anything else you want to say? If not, we're going to let the Lorax take over.
No, the Lords can take over.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
This is my first Ultraman movie that I've watched.
Right, because you introduced me to
yeah.
Ultraman
here.
years ago.
Storyline, I think it was great. Just really got into it. Again, there's so many Ultramans. It was hard for me to keep up on who's who. And but I think this movie was exciting. The fight scenes, I mean, it's constant.
Oh, yeah.
Start to finish. It does not stop. And The characters in it, I think, are just from the monsters to the Ultraman to the villains. I mean, was really, really good and kept you really interested in the movie on from start to finish. I mean, and it was really good. I watched the English dubbed. I thought the dubbing was good.
Gavin, you all right over there?
Fix my chair.
They're seeing you on camera
Yeah,
doing all this.
they're watching you do all
His
this.
camera's all decked up.
But I think overall, fantastic movie. And if you haven't watched Ultraman, this may be a good starting point just to get into, and then you can go back and start.
Yeah, I agree.
Picking
There
up
is.
each of the different characters. So hey, I thumbed up. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Grandmaster, what about you, sir?
Well, last episode I kind of told you I've never been like a big, huge Power Rangers fan or anything like that because I was already an adult when Power Rangers came out. So I will say one thing. When I started watching this movie as the English dub, I watched the English dub at the beginning. I thought this movie is horrible. And I said, you know what? It's not the movie that's horrible. It's the dub. So I turned it off and watched the Japanese subtitle one. And that fixed the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Sure
All of a
does.
sudden, it was just the voices were just overdone. It was just, I'm like, no. There's no way they sound like that. So I changed and I'm like, okay, this is better. Because it was like, the Belial sounded like, "Wah, I'm gonna take
not-
care of
not
all
to-
this."
not
I'm
to
like,
interrupt
oh my
you on
God,
that.
there's no way
But-
that's what he sounds like. And then so I turned it off and it was regular,
Did you notice that the voice of Frieza from Dragon Ball
Yes.
is in that?
Yes.
Is in
Yes.
that. Okay,
Yes.
I did pick
Yeah.
up on
Yep.
that from
Yep.
Dragon
Yep.
Ball. Yeah.
Kinda
Okay.
So
hard for
so
me.
I don't know about nothing about Dragon Ball, so I switched it back and then the movie was okay. But I thought the fight scenes were choreographed so well. I said, man, this is one of the best fight scenes that, the fight scenes were just choreographed so well. I can't even describe how well I thought. It was really good. And they were, in some of these monster flicks, you can tell that it's somebody in a suit and they're struggling.
Yeah.
But
Right.
in this movie, it's somebody in a suit, but they're not struggling. They really can, I guess they designed the suits enough where there was enough flexibility for them to make the moves they need.
Oh, yeah. Like, especially the
to
guy who
make-
plays Gamora. Like, the
Yeah,
actor who plays
exactly.
Gamora can get it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because even when they're on that's the main monster that Ray uses on the monster graveyard to fight. And Gamora's in
Right.
there with the Ultras just whooping tail, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
so
Especially with his
Well,
tail.
Yeah.
yeah. So I thought the fight scenes were excellent. Matter of fact, the fight scenes were the best part of the movie. The storyline was great. Excuse me. Storyline was great too. I thought it was pretty interesting, and to me, it was shades of, Godzilla Final Wars, because it was like an all-star cast.
Yeah, it was.
You
Yeah.
had all Ultraman, and you had all these monsters, which too, I thought that was great. They had all these monsters, and they were all different. It was like, and I said, man, they didn't skimp on the suit actors or the suits. I mean, maybe they all didn't fight. I'm sure they didn't, because then that would be ultra expensive. See what I did there? Ultra expensive.
Yeah.
It would be ultra expensive. But I liked that they had all these monsters, and they were also, they were original from, the only Ultraman I've ever watched was the show in the early 70s, the original. I've always heard you guys talk about Ultra 7 and Ultra Zero, and I'm like, I don't even know who those people are. I have no idea. So this was my first Ultraman movie as well. The only exposure I've had to Ultraman was the original show from '66. And I saw it in reruns on Saturday afternoons when they show up once in a while. So to me, this was a brand new experience, but I thought it was done pretty well. Even the special effects, maybe they're a little subpar compared to other movies, but the fight scenes more than make up for it, in my opinion. And I thought there were shades of, I saw shades of Thor, with Ultraman Zero being sent away because he wasn't worthy because of what he tried. I saw, shades of Superman in the Phantom Zone where they sent General Zod in the glass and
Right,
tried to get
yeah.
away, and so there's a prison there, and that kind of reminded me, shades of Arkham or really more the Phantom Zone. So I saw a lot of in the movie itself, I saw a lot of influences there from all over that they grabbed and made it work very well. Where you didn't. A lot of times, if I see that, I'm like, oh, that's just a knockoff. They're just trying to knock this off. I didn't think that with this movie because they did such a good job of taking the influences, but just integrated it into the movie. So the movie's not a total, it's not like just a series of influences all thrown together and they just made a movie. You can tell that the director and the choreographer, which I think it's the same as the director.
It's the same, yeah.
What
So
you
the
said?
director,
you can tell he
Koji
really cared
Sakamoto.
about what he really cared about the product he was going to put out. It wasn't one of these, I'm just going to put something together and throw it out because that's what the studio wants. I thought this one was well thought out. And it's one of those movies that I think if you want to introduce a kid to Ultraman, this would be the one. It's a lot to take in, but it's fun enough that a kid would enjoy, an adult, I enjoyed it, that a kid would enjoy it,
Yeah.
So I really think like if I was going to introduce my grandchild to it, I'll probably start with this one because it's a whole lot of fun. On top of all of what I just said, it's also a whole lot of fun to watch.
Yep.
So, because you have, it's just awesome, So, and that's it. That's all I got. I really don't have too many negative things to say about this movie because it was just so much fun.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was great.
For me, man, this one is, dude, it's top notch. Like, so my history with Ultraman goes back about circa Gavin's age, maybe a little younger.
7 or 8.
Maybe, around that time, around
Yeah,
Gavin's
okay.
age, Mark introduced me to Ultraman. I don't even remember where we saw it on. I just remember you showing me the, I think it was the second episode, which has got one of the Godzilla suits as a monster named G-Ross.
Yeah.
That comes out of the lake. They just kind of put a big fin around his, his neck and colored him different. But I remember us watching that, and I don't even remember where we saw it at, or I don't remember if it was a TBS, aired it or something.
Yeah, I think it was one of those. It was a Saturday deal. Back
Saturday
then, it was
Superstation deal. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
back-
Superstations always
Yeah,
showed those.
but back,
yeah.
I think back then we had an independent Channel
Right.
4.
That it must have been on, yeah. So,
yeah.
so that's Ultraman's where I started, but it was really Ultra 7 because we found out that TNT was still running at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Now here I am, a little kid, and around Gavin's age, and you get up and you go to school, and you don't have to get up till like 7:30. Get ready, get on the bus, get to school time. No, dude, I'm up at like 5:45 and getting a bowl of cereal because I'm turning TNT on to turn Ultra 7 on in the mornings.
All
Like,
right.
definitely was.
Yeah,
That's a
'cause
cool story.
Ultra 7 was where Ultraman's definitely that big hero. He was, on screen wise was the first of his kind. 7 was it for me. 7 was a much darker show. It was much more serious in tone. 7 wasn't always a giant, wasn't giant size. There was many episodes where he fought aliens that were human-sized aliens, and he was human-sized. So it was a lot more realistic, and he would change things. And 7's always been my favorite. I've loved him from the word go. They actually redid 7 later on, actually in the early 2000s, or no, late 99, called Ultra 7X, which was like a 12-episode redo, which was like almost like Matrix meets Ultraman. Super amazing freaking show. So good. But I liked 7 because he was darker and it was a more grittier show. And so I've always clung to 7. And then after I watched 7, I remember us going on a program I was in called not Upward Bound. It was, what was that program where we did the plays and I was the special effects guy? Odyssey of the Mind. Odyssey of the Mind.
Yep, that's
and
it.
so Odyssey of the Mind. Well, Gavin?
Do you also want to know something cool about it? You said that how Ultraman 7 turns into Mini. I can't remember I think it was Ultraman Saga where Zero also turns Mini too.
Yep, it's in the Ultraman Saga movie. He does that. Yep, which came 2 more after this one, after this movie. So I was doing Odyssey of Mind. We went to Nationals in Nashville, and we went to some movie or electronics store, or whatever, and they had VHS tapes, for sale, and we found Ultraman Powered. Or not Ultraman, Ultraman Great, and it was over here. It was released as Ultraman Towards the Future, and we bought a tape of it and watched a couple episodes. There was like 2 or 3 episodes on one tape, and I was like, "Holy crap, the Ultra stuff's been going on since way back in the day." And there's all these other series, so that's when I dove into it big time. At that point, was as a teenager, and but still, 7 man holds strong. Still my favorite Ultra dude. He's just freaking. He's always been a beast. He was the first brutal killer. There's one episode where he fights one monster and he takes his ice slugger and chops it up in like 6 different pieces. I'm like, this is fantastic. But so this movie introducing the son of 7 was huge for me. Like, I clung to Zero. He's my second favorite Ultra. big time. And I love the story. I love getting, as far as knowing the backstory of the Ultras, seeing the Ultras. I've already seen all these guys. I've never seen them all on screen at one time, so that was epic. Then getting to finally see, this is the first time you actually get to see the Land of Light outside of Ultraman Taro's movie, which came back out in the 70s. You get to see, the one when he's a kid, and which ironically is voiced by the guy who voiced Goku, in one of the later dubs for it. Yep. So you get to see parts of the outskirts of, you get to see a command center where Taro's in there learning from the other Ultras, and it's kind of flashbacks from Ultra series episodes, and you get to see him training by himself out in the mountain range. That's it. You don't really get to see the planet itself. This time you do, and in a vast scope, and seeing all the Ultras on screen was awesome. Them even going and showing like Ultraman Chuck, Ultraman Beth. I cannot remember the third Ultraman's name there, but they were from the animated TV series that came out here in America. And so seeing them put it in time to make those Ultraman live action, to see them bring in Ultraman Powered and Ultraman Great, who were, again, American productions brought over, seeing, the side ones. You had Ultraman 80 and then the Princess Ultra, I can't remember her name. Seeing all these dudes brought in was just super awesome. Seeing them go about their daily lives. You got the academy, where Taro's training all the new recruits, and you've got the command center, and you've got, people walking around with little Ultra babies, was super freaking cool. But the storyline for this was great, because while you've always had imitation Ultraman, they call him imitation Ultraman, throughout the series, Ultraman 7, like a lot of them have fought an evil version. It's never been an actual Ultra. Like at the beginning of this movie, you see the alien Zarab, who actually looks like an evil Ultraman, but then he turns into himself as Zarab before he releases Belial. He's not an actual Ultra. He can just imitate his look. And you see that even Tiga. Tiga fights an evil version of himself who's not a true Ultra. But this was the first time you got to meet a true Ultra that was evil in Belial. And he is just the epitome. Like, everything they fight against, they're the beings that fight for justice throughout the universe. Belial is the absolute opposite. And you see it from the word go. I mean, he immediately kills the guy who sets him free. And from there, Mark, you're right, dude. It doesn't stop. It is nonstop fighting from all the way through. And you get to see a lot of classic monsters. And what I love about it is it's 2009, but you look at some of these Ultra monsters from back in the day, they're very corny looking, like to probably most kids today. Like they might be like, that's really cheesy, or
I don't.
Well, I'm glad you don't, Gavin. But like some kids would be like, oh, that looks so lame. They don't care. You know what I mean? They love this. It's the heart and soul of this show. You know what I mean? So to bring back these Ultra monsters like Bimlar or or Gamora, Gazora, some of these dudes like wouldn't translate to kids nowadays because of how cheesy they were back then. They don't care because it's the heart, it's the love for it. And I love that. They were not ashamed of these monsters, and it showed. And they all looked fantastic. Brand new suits, looked amazing. Everyone was top notch in this. The actors were great. I loved Ray. In this one, this was my first introduction to Ray and the Mega Monster Battle crew. Ray was fantastic, and I started watching that series now because of Ray. He's really cool. Everything was good, was amazing. But then for me, the moment Zero shows up, it was like, dude, it just went from a really good movie to an absolutely unbelievable. It had that Rambo moment for me, dude, where it's just like, it's over, man. And it's been fantastic since, because I mean, this set the groundwork for Ultraman Zero and Belial. That's Belial's his arch nemesis. Ultraman, it was Zeton. Zeton was the monster that killed Ultraman in the original series, and he's kind of been the main bad guy, arch nemesis for Ultraman since then. For Ultra 7, it was Red King, and Red King's been famous since then. Red King's in this movie. Every Ultra has their one main dude who's really been the main bad guy, and for Zero, it's Belial. It's the first Ultraman nemesis that's an Ultra.
Red King, the one with the big arms.
The big arms, yeah, that's from Ultra 7.
He fights.
Zero fights him a couple times. But so from this point on, man, Zero kind of takes charge. He's the new dude, and you got a sequel movie to this that's called The Revenge of Belial. Belial comes back. Fantastic movie. It goes on even further from there to where, and what's amazing, we may get to at one point, is there's a show called Ultraman Geed that comes out, and Geed is actually the son of Belial, and he struggles with that. Like, he knows who his father is, but he doesn't want to be like his father, but he's got his father in him. You know what I mean? Like he is. And it's up to Zero to teach him and train him. And that's an amazing dynamic because Zero's training the son of his arch nemesis. So from this moment on, man, stories with Zero just skyrocket what they do. So this introduction movie was fantastic. Great start to finish. I have zero complaints in this movie. The only complaint, no, I have zero complaints in this movie. Like everything was great, man. And Ruben, you were talking about the fight scenes were great. Koichi Sakamoto, who directed this movie, this was the first Ultra movie he directed, first Ultra anything. He has a vast history with Power Rangers and Kamen Rider, and I mean, almost
tell.
Yeah, he was the fight choreographer for the Power Ranger series for decades, and you can really tell in this movie because the fight scenes in this are fantastic. I mean, way above par for a lot of stuff like this, and special effects were great, man.
Rider.
And yeah, even better than Kamen Rider, and even the computer graphics. This was the most computer graphics heavy movie I've ever seen in the tokusatsu or kaiju series from Japan, and it was amazing. So I absolutely love this movie, and I think it's time you find out what the Stompdown rating is. All right, so Stompdown rating for this collectively from the four of us. Me and Gavin gave it a little bit higher than Mark and Ruben did, but the total was a 3.5 out of 5. Man, I can't recommend this enough. Me and Ruben, Gavin gave it a 4. Lorax and the Grandmaster gave it a 3. But they even tell you, even Ruben said it, man. Yeah. This is the place to start. So if you've never seen Ultra anything, this is a great starting point because, as Ruben said, man, it's not only just awesome with what's going on with the fights and the monsters, it's just fun. Super fun.
Good movie.
You guys got anything you want to add to it?
No, I mean, probably my rating was maybe a little low because I really, really enjoyed the movie. Just being confused on who's who was my hardest part of the movie. That's the only thing I had as far as negative. It'd be negative. The reason I gave it a 3.
Right.
But I mean,
same here. I was gonna use the word. I rated it because of my ignorance of the lore of Ultraman. I just didn't know enough about it. So, but I could tell when Sludge here was doing his review and when Gavin was doing it, they love Ultraman. They love these series. So that I could just tell. I think that was about the longest synopsis I've ever heard on the show since we began. I will say because there's a lot to the story on this one. But there is a lot to the story. There is a lot to the story, but in that I saw your passion come out for how much you love the series, and Gavin talking about it and knowing all about all the it was just I could see that both of y'all just really really love Ultraman. Where me and Mark we're not new to Ultraman, but we're new to this lore. I mean, I didn't realize that Ultraman had this. Helped me kind of understand what was going on before. I couldn't tell you. Okay, Ultraman 0, Ultraman 7. How can 0 be 7's son? And, how does that work? It was now crazy. I kind of understand what's going on. Right. So it helped educate me a little bit. So that's why I think, and I don't know if Mark will agree with, but it comes because we just don't know enough about it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And there's a lot to it.
To give it a yeah. So,
Gavin, you want to say something?
Yes, and also if you have watched, I suppose Ruben, since he's seen this, I don't know, you might know because he started watching the Ultraman, the original Ultraman.
The original Ultraman show.
From what I've seen, the original Ultraman, I don't know if it was back then, but his pose now is kind of like Zero's, but he puts his hands out like that, but Zero kind of puts it out like that.
Yeah, the way he does his hands.
His hands like Ultra.
Yeah. So there's that throwback to the original Ultra.
The throwback is there, and
so that was cool. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah,
cold.
That was cool. That was pretty cool. So, man, fantastic. Like, I mean, and there is a reason why I give it a 4. I could have given it higher. I will not lie.
Same here.
But the reason I didn't is because there is another Ultraman movie that would put this one to shame. And so like we try to do, I was like, I couldn't honestly go higher,
Yeah.
knowing there's another one out there that would, without question, get higher.
It's better than this one.
Yeah. So that's the only reason.
That's for something down the road then.
That is definitely that's
Yeah.
definitely one that we will be doing down the road because
Have it
I've
down
been
the
wanting to
road
for a minute. So
have Gavin back in on the show and
yep, because
Yeah.
Gavin's
Yeah.
seen that one too. So we might get to
which
get
one?
to
Which one was it?
Well, I'm not going to reveal it on the show yet. We're not going to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
forgot.
it's
Yeah,
a
well,
secret.
that's the behind the scenes stuff.
So
There we
Like
go.
G or 8?
all right.
or,
So
S?
I'll tell you after the show. Don't worry about it. All right, man. So
He wants
we've
to
got-
know now.
Yeah, we got something.
Gavin's going to be one of those reporters that just hounds you until he gets the answers he wants.
That's right.
That is, yeah, he does that, man. I will tell you that. He
Tell me.
definitely does.
Tell me the beginning of the letter, and I can easily know what it is.
S.
Oh, okay.
You know what it is, don't you?
Yeah.
You're like, he's like, I've seen it in theaters too. You know, like that's how cool he is. So, but all right. So there you go, man. 3.5 total from us, and I'll highly recommend it. And if you've never seen anything Ultra, this is a fantastic place to start. It will open the door and give you a glimpse into the massive lore that is in the Ultra series, which will either you won't care about, or you'll be like, I got to dig into it and find out because this is fantastic. And if you go listen to anything August Ragone talks about, dude, August Ragone is an Ultra fanatic too as well. So.
Yeah.
Cannot praise it enough. So, all right, it is time for everybody's favorite part of the show, and we've got something to talk about before, when we get there. But you know what time it is? It's time to test your mic.
Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might.
All right, so the last time was crazy because we had like 3 or 4 of these in a row where we all got them right, and so we had to finally whittle it down with some additional trivia. I kind of threw up on the spot, and me and Mark had to watch Phantom in Paradise. It was Ruben's only way, apparently, and I don't know why. After watching this, it was his only way. I should have.
Well,
my bad, Ruben.
the bad part about all this was that you tried to get out of it just because you
What?
ate a little gummy bear.
Man,
Oh,
everyone loved that.
yeah.
I don't care. Everyone loved that.
Did
he
he
eats
die?
a little gummy bear, and then he thinks, I shouldn't have to do anything else because I ate the gummy bear.
What did the gummy bear taste like?
The gummy bear tasted like nothing
Yeah.
at
There's no
all.
flavor, but
No,
it
yeah.
was very hot.
Very, very. Oh, he was sweating
Yeah.
so bad, Gavin. It was
Hot.
absolutely
That's crazy.
I will
From a
say,
gummy bear.
hot does not have a flavor. It's just hot.
Yeah, there
It
was
doesn't have a flavor. It's just
no
not like, oh, it
flavor
tastes
to it
like,
whatsoever.
there's no flavor. It's just hot. And you don't taste anything. For
Yeah,
a bit.
he definitely didn't taste anything.
no,
He was,
no, I did not. So.
Water didn't work. Soda
Anyways,
didn't work. Okay.
so we got to watch Famine in Paradise, and I really enjoyed Famine in Paradise because I felt like I
I'm
was
glad.
watching Phantom of the Opera meets Tommy. And while not so
Yep,
much a monster
there you go.
movie, it technically is. Phantom of the Opera, I have always said, is my absolute favorite film of all time. To me, there's no better movie than the original Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney. Period. So it already had me by that point. I mean, it's a musical, it's a music 70s era music remake of Phantom of the Opera, and I thought it was fan-freaking-tastic. I enjoyed every bit of it. Ruben, I thank you for recommending that movie. It will be watched again by me. I guarantee it.
and I'm with you. And I'm with you. You know, I remember watching it back in the late 70s, maybe early 80s, and liked it and enjoyed the movie. And it was definitely, just how you're saying it. And the only other thing, I remember going to the Rivoli Theater in Muncie, Indiana, to see Tommy when it originally came out. And that's probably one of the closest movies you can maybe, get to it as far as being like a rock opera or something like that. So
Yeah.
I definitely thank you for making us watch it. because
Very
we
good.
definitely enjoyed it.
I mean,
It was a
aside
good
from
movie.
Son of Kong, like everything Ruben recommends, to
He's
try-
on it, man.
Dude, I mean, he
I
puts-
know it.
Kiss Me Phantom.
movies.
I mean, hey.
Yeah,
Well,
dude. Like,
yeah. I mean, this next one, if I win this one, I got one for you. Boy, do I got one for you. If I win,
oh, I can't wait to see. So, all right, let's find out, man, if Ruben gets to pick who has to watch the movie. So, Kurt, again, thank you so much. Kurt Harper jumped in on the trivia for us on this one, and he did something really cool and really special because where the trivia questions for us can get a little difficult sometimes, he went out of his way to do a special set of questions for Gavin for
That is
his
cool.
own
That's very
Ultraman
cool.
trivia, which is really, really cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to knock out the three for us because we have to pick a penalty film. And then we will do Gavin's three and test Gavin's Ultraman knowledge and see how that goes. So,
Zero.
all right.
0%.
No, I think you'll do good on this one, man. So,
I hope so.
all right. So here we go with the our trivia at this point. So, first question up is, at the time, this movie had the third highest grossing of any Ultra movie. How much did it make? A, he got pretty serious on this one. $6,154,916. B, $6,194,516. Or C, $6,168,616.
Dude, I have no clue on that one. I don't see how he's going to
Which
answer.
was the first one? What was the
first-
first one?
No, this is you. This is us, Mark.
Oh, this is us.
This is us.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought it was him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Gavin's
Well,
that
I
day.
was thinking, wow, what a question.
I'm not gonna
I
do
mean, I
that.
always start.
Quit moving that. No. So, okay, let me do it
A?
again for Mark here. A is $6,154,916. B is $6,194,516. Or C, $6,168,616. I am
Man,
not 100% sure
this-
about the little
man,
numbers.
Kurt
but,
went from man. That was so
Yeah,
tough,
he
'cause
went crazy. I thought you
read
were
it on the
writing
wiki.
this
Yeah, he
for
went
him.
crazy.
no,
Dude,
man.
all you have to do is
So-
just guess. You don't have to. If you get
Hey,
it wrong,
but-
at least you
Well,
guess.
yeah,
Well, unfortunately, if you guess wrong, there's penalties that come from that.
Wait,
So-
what does penalty mean?
Alright.
What do you mean?
So if we lose, whoever loses or whoever wins gets to pick a really what's supposed to be. Ruben usually makes us watch really good movies, but it's
Yeah,
supposed to be
okay.
a really bad movie
That we
that the
have to
losers have to watch.
Yeah.
So if you lose, you got to watch a really bad movie. So you want to win.
Shrek. I do want to win. I'm not watching Shrek.
So, all right, number 2. What is the name of Zap Spacey's ship? All right, I'll help out on this one. Zap Spacey, if you all don't remember, is Ray's group, his crew. That's what they're called. They're
Yeah,
called Zap Spacey.
it's his crew.
So-
yeah.
What is the name of their ship? A, Pendragon, B, Grendel, or C, Beowulf? Good? Good on that one?
I'm not good at any of this. It doesn't really matter at this point in time.
Come on, man. They give it to you in the movie, dude. So, all right, number 3. What is the catchphrase of this movie? A, the power of light. B, recover the light of the galaxy. Or C, shine on the light of the galaxy. You know, it was A, the power of light. The look on Lorex's face is great.
Wait, for
Okay.
this movie?
Already
For
got
this
it.
movie.
Am I
no,
doing
no, you're not doing this one.
Okay.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
So it's A, the power of
See,
light.
even he knows that one. God.
Gavin's like, Gavin's on it. A, the power of light. B, recover the light of the galaxy. Or C, shine on light of the galaxy.
I already know who's gonna win.
Oh, I'm going to lose.
All right.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
Who
All right.
knows what I'm
Are
watching
we
now?
ready for the answers? And then we'll move
Yes.
on to Gavin's. Okay. Number 1.
That's my only guess.
I'm about to get Kurt to start putting the questions in here with these. So, okay, number 1 was, at the time, this movie had the third highest grossing of any Ultra movie. How much did it make? Correct answer was B, $6,194,516. Yep.
Right?
Oh,
I got it
that was
right.
my
Did you get
guess.
it?
Yeah,
I got it right.
It was my
Everyone got
guess.
it right.
I'm not gonna lie.
Let's
I
go.
knew that one based off of the first 4. I had no idea what the number looked
I
like.
scrolled
516.
through
I'm like,
Wikipedia stuff, and it just says 6.1 million.
Yeah,
It didn't go into anything,
Yeah.
deeper than that.
so
that's why it was a guess. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I mean,
going for it. Hey, you guys guessed it right. So number 2, What was the name of Zap Spacey's ship? The answer is A, the Pendragon.
Yeah.
Bam, got
Ruben,
it.
did you get it?
Oh,
Yeah,
two.
I got that
Ruben.
one.
Everyone got it.
Okay,
Here we
Okay.
got it. So,
here's the one that's just, yeah, go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the catchphrase of this movie? The correct answer was recover the light of the galaxy.
Yeah.
B. That was B.
C, it's what I had. I missed it.
Yeah.
Ruben, did you get that one?
Yeah, I did. Just going off the galaxy because it was the long title had the word galaxy in it, so I just said it's got to be that one.
So, yep. And that was the whole thing, too, with that one was they were taking the plasma spark. That's
Yep.
the light of the galaxy. So,
Yeah,
that was the
okay.
tag phrase for that one. So, all
I
right.
reckon
that was
I'll
the
be
thing, yeah.
watching what? Who's?
I got 3 for 3. And, Ruben, you got
Donald
3
Duck.
for 3.
3 for 3.
Yeah, no, I was 2 out of 3.
I was going to say, you know what? Ruben got to do the last movie and grace us with it. And I was like, so I'll take the movie. But no, I'm really interested to know.
no.
To find out.
See, that's wrong,
I'm interested
man.
to find out what I could have watched
Watch.
that was so bad from Ruben. So, Ruben, what is Mark watching?
Okay, so here's a little backstory. So
Oh, no.
last weekend, DirecTV gave us Showtime for free. Right. So I'm sitting there, and it's about 11 o'clock in the Saturday night, and I'm flipping through the channels, and then I come across this movie, and something caught my interest about it. So I started watching it. Cindy passes by and says, "Is that one of the movies you're watching for the show?" And I said, "In a roundabout way." I said, "This is so horrible." I said, "We're not going to review it, but somebody's going to watch it one of these days." So, Mark, you're watching Aquarium of the Dead.
Aquarium of the Dead. Oh, my
right.
God.
That was amazing.
It's
how you both
about
said
it's
at the
about
same time.
instead of zombies, the fish and the sea life are the zombies in this movie.
Aquarium.
enjoy
Oh,
it.
man, I don't know. I might have to jump on and watch this one. It sounds like something up my alley. All right, so I will hunt down Aquarium of the Dead, get it on
Yes.
the Plex, and then Mark and watch it. That's
Yes.
I don't
awesome.
believe it has anything inappropriate or anything like that. I didn't see anything like that because I had it on TV, but I was listening to music, so I was watching it, but I knew what was going on. So I thought it was bad enough to put it on the list of bad movies.
Oh, man, I cannot wait for this. So, all right, there we go. Aquarium of the Dead is Mark's movie for the next
Yeah, I
round.
appreciate it,
and,
Ruben.
all right, Gavin, it is your turn, your trivia. Are you ready, sir, for your 3 answers?
Absolutely not. Yes.
Okay, well, we'll find out. All right, so, Gavin, here we go. Here's the first, and it's going to be A, B, or C answers, okay?
Okay.
You got this? All right,
Yeah, do this.
number 1, the Giga Battlenizer, so the spear, is a terrible weapon that can resurrect and control how many monsters? A, 100, B, 1,000, or C, 10? How many monsters can the Giga Battlenizer
Oh.
control?
I know that one. I know that one.
Ruben knows that one. All right, Gavin, so it's A, 100, B, 1,000, or C, 10. How many monsters can it control? You don't have to say it out loud, okay? You just got to write it down, A, B, or C.
I know, but there's 2 that they actually said that fits it, but they said it both twice.
So 100
Oh,
is
that's-
A, B is 1,000, or C is 10.
Come on, Gavin. How many monsters did you see?
I don't know, like a million? I don't know. There's too many.
All right, number 2. What is the name of the monster? What are you covering your questions for? That's ain't my trivia.
Oh, Mark's already told them how you operate. That's why.
Oh, that's like, it's all him here. So,
Yeah.
number 2, what is the name of the monster that fuses with Belial to make him the evil Ultra? A, Alien Kilowog, B, Alien Ray Blood, or C, Alien Zarab?
And he also came out in Thor Ragnarok.
He did. Dude, I thought
He looks like him.
He does. He really
He
does.
does.
I knew that A was
Um,
directly wrong, but I had to guess from the other 2.
What are the names of the first 3 Ultras to have a show? So the original 3.
Oh,
We've got
you,
A.
You just good. You know that one.
Yeah, Ultraman, Ultra 7, and Ultraman Jack, which was the return of Ultraman.
Okay.
B, Ultraman, Ultraman Ace, and Ultraman Leo. Or C, Ultraman, Ultraman Tiga, and Ultraman Dyna. Which 3 were the first 3 Ultraman shows? A, Ultraman 7, Ultraman.
Done.
Oh, you're done? Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
he's
so-
already done.
He's
Yeah.
done. All right. So, answers for Gavin's are number 1, the Giga Battlenizer is a terrible weapon that can resurrect and control how many monsters? A, 100, B, 1,000, or C, 10? The correct answer is A, 100.
100.
No.
100.
I put B because they said that it can also put 1,000, but they also said it can put 100. So I was so confused.
Well, that's all right. Not a big deal
I
there.
didn't know.
All right, number 2.
You have to watch a bad movie now.
Yeah, now you got to watch a really bad
Just
movie.
kidding.
Look at my face. Nah, we ain't going to make you do that. Number 2.
Okay, I want to do it.
What is the name of the monster that fuses with Belial to make him the evil Ultra? A, Alien Kilowog, B, Ray Blood, or Z, Zerab? The correct answer was B, Alien Ray Blood. Got that one?
Yeah, A was like, I don't even know what
Actually,
that is.
Kilowog is a Green Lantern a Green Lantern. I don't know if that's where Kurt got it from, but Kilowog is actually a Green Lantern.
Man, look at old Mark, man. Old Mark's all patriotic.
Yeah, he
First,
is.
Man, I tell you what.
I actually knew it was not
You're going to be in a
from
country
Ultraman
music
because
commercial.
From what I know, there's no monster that's named that.
Nope,
And
not that I know of.
second, I barely even heard of that.
Yeah. All right, number 3. What are the names of the first 3 Ultras to have a show? A, Ultraman, Ultra 7, and Ultraman Jack. B,
Ultra
Ultraman.
scared.
Well, it's A, Ultra 7,
Okay.
Ultraman, and Ultraman Jack.
Hey, Papa, me and you have 2 to 3.
2 out of 3. You got
Yeah.
2 out of 3 on that one. So
So we're all right.
sweet, man. There you
Yeah.
go, man. You got 2 out
Guess
of
what?
2
What
out of
am
3.
I watching?
Aquarium of the Dead.
So I guess
that's
I'll
what
check it. You may have to watch Aquarium of the Dead with us to see how
That's right.
a bunch of dead fish and
Yeah.
octopus.
I'm taking the bet.
I can pick a real bad kids movie if you want for him.
No, I'm going to watch that. But wait. What would be the bad movie? Shrek?
A bad kids movie?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like that's
Well,
a long
your
list.
dad's favorite movie is Titanic. He loves
Yes,
that one.
yes.
No, let him
I
watch
hate
that.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
can't watch
loves
that. It's a terrible movie. That's
Oh.
so bad. It's the worst, second worst. I don't know. It's first or second worst movie ever made. So, all right.
He also likes.
But according to your dad, that's why I wore this shirt. Your dad has a hatred for Universal Monsters. They're 0 for 2 in his movie picks.
Oh, no. What?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Oh yeah.
how are they? How are they?
Oh,
0
yeah.
for 2.
You know,
Are you
picked against the
crying
Lagoon.
about the Dracula Friday Night Fight? Is that what it is?
That's
Sure
right.
is.
Is he
That's what it
crying
is.
about that one?
Wait,
Gary
what happened
Oldman
there?
with his dumb wig hair. Princess Leia.
See,
looking
I knew going when that was going down. Like, man, this is gonna fire Ruben up. But I mean, hey, man, I had to pick what I thought was
He's
the better
staring you
one.
dead in the eye now.
And
Yeah,
I just Oldman, dude. Oldman's
Wow.
yeah. So, anyway, so Gavin, if you want, you can watch Aquarium of the Dead as long as
I'm
it's
going
nothing
to.
major. So,
Watch it with you
yeah.
guys. Yeah, I'll
You
watch
can
it.
check it out. Make sure. If not, let me know. I'll find another.
okay,
There we
that's
go.
what we'll do.
There we go.
So, if there's anything in
Yeah.
it that you can't watch, then Ruben will find you one to watch. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, man, again, Kurt, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for going the extra mile for Gavin to do his own trivia. That was super, super cool. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks.
that. So, you want to tell him to the camera? Tell him thanks.
Thank you.
So, this has been fun, man. It's been a blast having Gavin on for this one. We have to get him back for another one at some point. The one that we did not name, maybe the movie that he has to come back and do.
I can do Godzilla or something. Yeah.
Well, you do watch quite a bit of Godzilla too, don't you?
Yeah.
With us, so. But right now, that wraps this episode up, and we've got some more coming. So the next episode, the first of next month, is going to be Gamera versus Jiger. We are continuing down our Gamera Showa path as we get ready for Gamera Rebirth to hit Netflix on September 2nd, September 9th, something like that. Right there, begins the 1st September. And then after that, I have decided to do a really good, well, I don't know, I might get this one wrong, but I thought it's absolutely fantastic. One of the best monster movies ever made. They came from Toho and wanted to give the guys something really good to chew on and watch. And we're doing the H-Man next month as well.
Can I watch it?
H-Man you can watch, actually. That's a really good one that you can watch.
H-Man's
Can I
a
do
real
the
good
H-Man?
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Super,
Can
super
I come
good.
for the H-Man?
Well, we'll have to see about that one there, sir. But all right, well, man, that wraps that one up. We appreciate it so much. Again, join us on the socials, man. Go join our Facebook group, join the Instagram, because 3 times a week we give you guys additional content. Monday nights we talk about more unknown or maybe not have seen monster movies. That's definitely worth checking out. Wednesdays, Ruben rocks our socks off with some amazing monster-related music. And Friday nights, you get to see me pissing Ruben's Cheerios quite often.
That's right.
When it comes to
Yeah.
Friday Night Fights, where we take 2 monster movies, pit them together in the ring, and we all get together and decide which is the better movie by voting on it. And then
He always besmirches the OGs. Always.
I seem to for whatever reason, but yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun, man. It's become a family unit, and we all have a great time doing it. Also, check out our buddies, man, at the Good Beer Bad Movie Good Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, Pete and his crew. Check them out. Their shows were fantastic. Check Charlie, Nate, and Pete with the Give Me Back movies show. So Give Me Back My Action movies and Give Me Back My Horror movies. They're all fantastic. We love those guys so much and want you guys to check them out as well. And again, thank you all so much. Join us next month for Gamer vs. Jiger and the H-Man. This is your host, Sludge, co-host across from me.
It's the Lorax.
Little guy next to him.
Gavin.
And then the Grandmaster from Texas.
You got Ruben.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.